Top 10 Things to Do in Meknes, Morocco. It may not be as well known as nearby Fez, but Meknes is still a worthy addition to any Moroccan bucket list. Located near the Middle Atlas Mountains in northern Morocco and nicknamed the Imperial City, Meknes boasts a fascinating centuries-old past with a vibrant city packed full of bustling souks, mosques, and madrasas, thousand-year-old Roman ruins and other historic tourist attractions. Meknes offers a pleasing mix of the old and new, split between the ancient Medina with its authentic riads and the new Ville Nouvelle with its spacious properties and modern cars. It doesn't matter where you go in this city, you'll find there is always plenty of things to do in Meknes. 10. Darjamai Museum. Built in 1882 as the stately home of the Jamai family, Darjamai Museum served as a military hospital and court in 1912. But since 1920, it's housed a striking display of 14th-century ceramics, jewelry, textiles, traditional costumes, and impressive cedar woodcrafts. The museum also features the personal belongings of Sultan Moulay Ismail, the second ruler of the Alawite dynasty, known infamously as the Warrior King. Items include his period clothing, a cookery set, and a traditional sauna. It may be over a century old, but the Darjamai Museum still boasts most of its original features, including painted windows, wood carvings, Moroccan mosaics, and an Andalusian garden with cypress trees and fountains. 9. Mausoleum of Moulay Ismail. The Mausoleum of Moulay Ismail is the final resting place of Morocco's warrior king. Built during his reign in the 18th century, the location was chosen by the Sultan himself because it once contained the city's courthouse, and he wished to be judged by his own people. Granted, the mausoleum doesn't look like much from the outside. In fact, many visitors don't even notice it. But step inside, and you'll be enthralled by the several interconnected courtyards with their elaborate mosaics, marble columns, carved plasterwork, and tinkling fountain. 8. Sawridge Saurage. Sawridge Saurage, which means Basin of the Norias, is a giant lake in the city of Meknes. Built by Moulay Ismail during the 17th century, it was once believed it was constructed purely for entertainment purposes. The lake was filled from 10 wells dug near the Saurage and from the Wadi Bufekrane, which runs down from the Middle Atlas Mountains. Today, however, only the ruined foundations remain, the result of an 18th-century earthquake. 7. Volubulus. Volubulus is one of the best preserved Roman ruins in Morocco. These crumbling ruins can be found about an hour from Meknes and offer an impressive display of columns, mosaics, and abandoned buildings. Founded in the 3rd century BC, Volubulus was once the capital of the Kingdom of Mauritania. Taken over by local tribes around 285, it was never reclaimed by the Romans because of its exposed and remote location. Instead, it served as the seat of Idris ibn Abdallah in the 8th century before being abandoned in the 11th century. 6. Moulay Idriss Zaraoun. Spread across 2 scenic hilltops, Moulay Idriss Zaraoun is a famous pilgrimage site for Islamic followers. This attractive town was built on the slopes of Mount Zaraoun in the 8th century by Moulay Idriss I, who founded Morocco's first dynasty. There's the Mausoleum of Idriss I, no entry for non-Muslims, and another mosque that boasts the only round minaret in Morocco. Visitors come here to enjoy the incredible views of the ruined city of Volubulus and the Sais Valley, as well as to hike the olive grove-dotted countryside. 5. Royal Stables. One of Meknes' most impressive historical landmarks, the Royal Stables is an absolute must-see. Built by Moulay Ismail to house his 12,000 royal horses, its architecture is truly remarkable. The building itself was designed with the horses' well-being in mind, mainly to keep them warm in winter and cool in summer. Visitors can explore this amazing dedication to Moulay Ismail's horses. As the 1755 Lisbon earthquake left them mostly in ruins, they're believed to have been 7 times the size in their heyday. 4. Bania Madrasa. The Bania Madrasa is an Islamic learning center opposite the Grande Mosque in Meknes. Founded by Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Othman in 1341, it was built as a theological college and a congregational mosque. While the Bania Madrasa is somewhat overshadowed by the madrasa of the same name in Fez, it remains one of the best examples of Maronite architecture in Morocco. It boasts some spectacular zellige tiles, geometric patterned stucco, and carved cedar wood ceilings. 3. El Hadeem Square. El Hadeem Square, also known as Place El Hadeem, is a famous square that forms the heart of the Meknes Medina. It was built between 1672 and 1674 by Moulay Ismail, who demolished a large part of the old city for this square in his palace, marked by the glamorous Mansur Gate. Historically, the square was used for public executions, royal announcements, and as a storage area. Today, it's the perfect spot for people watching. It gets very busy at night when the locals come together to enjoy a leisurely stroll, have a meal at one of the cafes, play football, and listen to musicians and Arabic storytellers. 2. Bab Mansur Gate. Meknes has over 20 gates surrounding its Medina, but Bab Mansur Gate is the most iconic. A striking example of Almohad architecture, the gate is carved with Arabic calligraphy that translates to, "I am the most beautiful gate in Morocco." And beautiful Bab Mansur certainly is. The last important monument to be built during Sultan Moulay Ismail's reign, who had it built as a homage to himself, it's covered in white and green zellige tiles and carved with Quranic panels. With an aim to remove all evidence of the dynasty before him, the gate was built with materials stolen from other Moroccan monuments. The 2 marble columns came from the ruins of Volubulus, while the 2 Corinthian columns once stood in Marrakesh's El Badi Palace. 1. Meknes Medina. You can't miss the narrow and gloriously traffic-free streets of the ancient Meknes Medina. It's filled with 17th-century gates, mosques, colorful buildings, an abundance of souks with everything from spices to clothing, and historical landmarks portraying impressive Islamic architecture. In fact, many of the must-see historical landmarks listed above can be found within the labyrinthine streets of the Meknes Medina. Admire the architecture of the Bab Mansur Gate, explore the Bania Madrasa, and discover the tranquil courtyards of the mausoleum of Moulay Ismail. Visit the royal stables with its enormous adjacent granary, admire the local arts and crafts at the Museum of Moroccan Art, and soak up the charming hubbub of El Hadeem Square. But best of all, the Medina is perfect for people watching.